Okay, so this is my second update since getting my latest new solar system. So this is my third solar system that I've put on a house or a business, and this is update number 2. So I've had it for 3.5 months now. And is it still worth getting solar? And I can answer that definitively now because we've had over 3 months of data, and my solar panels are actually returning more than a 19% return, which is excellent considering that the best bank term deposits now are returning about 5%. So it's almost 4 times what the best term deposit is returning. So it's definitely worth doing if you've got the right roof and that sort of thing. So we'll talk about all the issues and all that coming up. Okay. So this presentation is about solar power in Queensland, Australia. It's my personal experiences with my solar power installations. If you live in other locations, states or countries, then your experiences may vary. Always do your own research. Okay. So this is my third solar installation. I'll just skip through this quickly. I've talked about this in prior videos. So this is my current one. I've got 13.2 kilowatts of solar panels and a 10 kilowatt inverter in my house. And right when the installation was finished, the installer smiled at me or gave me a smug grin as he drove off and said, "Oh, by the way, I've limited you to 5 kilowatts," which was a real kick in the guts. I was hoping to be outputting 10. I was told I could output 10 to the grid where I was by the installer and by the installer's boss. And but at the end, right at the last hour, they limited it to 5 kilowatts because I've got single phase power here. I'm on acreage and I've got single phase power. I need 3-phase power to be able to output 10 kilowatts or more. So that was a bit of a bugger. I've now explored getting 3-phase power, but it's going to cost a fortune. It's going to cost 50 or 60 grand plus another 10 or 20,000 in expenses. So it's not worth doing. My feed-in tariff at the moment is 13 cents. So for every excess kilowatt I produce, my solar panels produce, I get 13 cents. My current electricity price is about 30 cents. Okay, so the feed-in tariff's about 1/3 or a bit over 1/3. I've got a grid-connected system, no batteries, and it costs 10,500 Australian dollars in August 2023. So it's only brand new. It's only 3.5 months old. So these are my last 22 months of electricity bills. So you can see I was having a cost of over just over $2 a day, and now I've got that's when my solar panels went live. My solar system went live, connected to the grid, and the meter turned on, and I'm now saving about $3 a day or over $3 a day. I'm getting $3 a day of income. Okay, so looking at this, there's my feed-in tariff. Okay, and I generated this is my bill for the last 32 days, from the 23rd of October to the 24th of November. So it's my most recent bill, just came today. And I got 32 days worth of generation there and usage. And I generated $174 worth of solar. That's net export to the grid. So that's what I've got. I get paid by the grid. And I used $58 or $59 worth of power. So my net income was 174 minus 59, which is about 115. Okay, round about there. Okay, so that's where the 115 comes here, 115.69, and divide that by 32 gives you the 362. So it's $3.62 of income per day. Okay, so that's how my bills look. That's how the chart looks at my electricity usage. So it was up here, over $200 a quarter. These are quarterly bills, quarter. So these are all 90 days. So quarterly bills. And as soon as I started producing solar to the grid, my bills dropped down to monthly. Okay, so these are all quarterly amounts. These are all monthly amounts. Okay. So anyway, drop from having a high electricity bill down to a negative electricity bill, which is wonderful. It's like having a piggy bank on your roof. It really is. So looking at the averages, so if I average up these figures here, the white ones, which is when I had costs to pay each month or each quarter, I was paying on average $2.03 per day for electricity and the connection fees. After I got my solar panels installed, I'm now making $3.49 on average per day. Okay, so I'm still using $2.03 worth of electricity. I'm getting that for free here, but I'm also making $3.49 in income. So that means since my solar panels went on, I'm actually making $5.52 per day. So I'm still using $2.03 worth of electricity, but I'm generating so much to the grid, I'm getting paid for the excess, which is $3.49. Okay, so I'm making really $5.52 per day. Okay, so there's the figures: $2.03. That's $2.03. $3.49. That's $3.49, and adding them together is $5.52. So all up, my total yearly income or total yearly savings and income for my solar panels is about $2,000 per year. Okay, putting that into a loan at 0%, $10,500 it cost me, and so I'm getting about 19.2% return on investment for the first year. Okay, like I said, the best bank term deposits are now 5% or 5.5%. So I'm getting nearly 4 times that, okay, which is fantastic. It's saving me money and generating income, and the income is tax-free, which is just so brilliant to get some tax-free income for a change, okay? And my solar panels will pay for themselves. My complete solar system, including installation, will pay for itself in less than 6 years. Okay, so well worth doing. Well worth doing. That's with no loan. If I had a 10% loan, just to try different figures, if I had a 10% loan there, it would pay for itself in 8 years. Okay, and for the next 30 years or more, I'll be getting free power, free income from the grid for the next 20 or 30 years after that, because my solar panels are guaranteed to last 30 years at least. So, yep. Assuming there's no fire or storm or whatever damage, they'll last 30 years at least. So after 8 years, even with a 10% loan, they've paid for themselves, and everything else is pure profit. Free electricity and income from then on. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Okay, so the big question is, so what? What does that really mean? Well, electricity prices and bills are soaring. Everybody knows that. My electricity bills in Queensland went up 24% one year and then 30% the next year or something like that. And they're getting ready to go up again by another 30%. Electricity prices are going to keep going up as we move to renewable energy and things like that, and batteries and all those sorts of things. Okay, we've got to build new infrastructure, and that's going to cost. As electricity prices increase, so should your solar feed-in rate. So my current feed-in rate's 13 cents a kilowatt, but if my electricity bills go up by electricity price I'm paying goes up by 30%, my feed-in tariff should also go up by 30%. So that might be looking at 16 cents a kilowatt instead of 13 cents a kilowatt that I get paid for every kilowatt I export to the grid. I used to get paid 8 cents a kilowatt, now it's 13, so it has gone up a lot since these recent power bill rises. So it is going up with the power bills. So I'm getting free electricity plus an annual income of about $1,320 a year. Okay, so free electricity plus $1,320 per year, which is pretty nice. Yeah, somewhere between $1,100 and $1,300 anyway it is. Okay. Even if the 5 kilowatt export restriction remains, I can't get the full 10 kilowatt that my system should have had. My solar system will still pay for itself in less than 6 years with no loan, or in about 8 years with a 10% loan. So that should be 8 years. That's a 19% return on investment. And like I said, the best bank term deposits currently return 5.5%. So it's getting nearly 4 times what the best term deposits will get, and it's tax-free. You've got to pay tax on the interest in banks. You have to pay tax on your income and savings from solar panels. Okay, so it's definitely worth using, no matter how you carve it. My solar inverter will probably need replacing every 10 years. It's got a 10-year guarantee, so it'll probably last 10 years and 1 day, and then it will die. So I'll need to replace it every year. My solar inverter is about, I think it was about $2.5 grand, $3 grand. And the price on those is going down as well. So probably in 10 years, I'll need to replace it. It might be $2 grand to replace it. I don't know. Okay, I might even be able to upgrade and get a battery one, and batteries might be safe by then. They might not be exploding and causing fires. So in 10 years, I'll probably upgrade to a battery one if the battery technology is perfectly safe. Okay, and then I can store power during the day and export it during the night as well. I can make even more than 90%. The solar panels should remain 90% plus productive for well over 30 years. So I've got good solar panels, good quality system, a good quality inverter, good quality wiring, everything's fused and properly switched. and the solar panel should last well over 30 years. Okay, so that's all good, all very good. I've got some recommendations for you, and these are like the ones in my last video, but I've added a few as well. Okay, so the recommendations. Make sure you focus on efficiency first. Make sure you focus on house efficiency. Make your family house as energy efficient as possible. So low energy light globes. On cold days, put on extra layers of clothes instead of turning on heaters. On hot days, avoid the air conditioner. Try and use pedestal fans or ceiling fans and drink cold drinks. Okay, try and avoid air conditioner use. Try and avoid heater use. Use low energy light globes. Use insulation. Have double glazed or whatever doors and windows. So go for energy efficiency first. That's where you get the most bang for your buck. Definitely. If you run heaters and air conditioners, minimise the space you're heating and cooling to just part of your house, so you can close all windows and doors. Shut down rooms, so it's just the room you're in that you're currently heating or cooling. And this can save you a lot of money doing these sorts of things. Recommendations part 2. If you can afford a solar system, it's a great way to cut costs and perhaps even generate income, but that depends on your usage, how much you're using during the day. Okay. If you hit your grid export limit during the day, use this time to do washing, ironing, charge your electric car, charge your cordless drill, whatever else you can. Do that during the day if you can, when your solar system is producing excess power that you can't export to the grid. Okay, if that's the case for your system. Make sure your house, garage, shed, roof is suited for solar. So you don't want too much shade from trees or buildings. You want it close to your meter or reasonably close to your meter box. All those sorts of things you need to talk about with your installer. Okay. So make sure you're suited for solar. There's no point building a brand new shed to put solar on it. Okay. If that's all you're going to use the shed for is solar panels, there's no point. But it could be worth building a carport. Carport's a lot cheaper than sheds, so maybe a carport might be worth it. The solar panels generation might pay for your carport over years as well. So I've got a warning there. Avoid really low quotes. You see some really crazy low quotes on TV and on Facebook and things like that. I'm not going to mention any names, but there's some really companies out there that produce crazy low quotes, half the price or less of what local installers charge. And they're fly-by-nighters generally. They use low-quality components. And if you have a problem, you're going to be banging your head against the wall to try and get them to come and fix it. So you've got really crappy customer service as well. So beware of cheap quotes. I always recommend you go with a local installer with a great track record. So of proven installations. So look at their track record. Talk to people they've installed systems for in the past. Go and have a look at their systems. Do your research properly. Okay, so do your own research. Read articles, inverters, people's experience and recommendations. If you're getting quotes from a local installer, go and look at their prior work. Talk to the people they've installed for. Are they happy? If they've had problems, did the installer come and fix it in a timely manner? All that sort of stuff. So do your own research, very important. And I would say beware of the current lithium-ion battery technology. It's a real fire risk. Exploding batteries, the batteries burn like crazy and will set everything else around them on fire as well. So if you're going to go lithium-ion, put the batteries well away from your home, garage, chook shed, and anything else you care about. My recommendation is build a shed out in the paddock where you, 10, 20 metres from everything else and put the batteries in there. But be very careful of the current technology. New batteries are coming out that are virtually 100% safe, but they're only coming out now. So just be careful with the current technology. And that's it. So if you want a 19% return on your investment and you want a tax-free income, so you've got a nice Christmas club every year that's going to make maybe $1,000 on your roof. It all depends on your usage, of course. But if your usage is like mine, you'll get you'll get hundreds of dollars at the end of the year that you can get back from your electricity company. That's a nice little saving for a Christmas party or something like that, or a birthday party. So you can get free power plus income as well, or else if you use a lot of power during the day, maybe you'll just get a cheaper electricity bill. It all depends on your usage as to how it will work out for you. Okay, so do your research, talk to some installers, and if it looks like it's working out for you, go for it, because it really is a good thing. I can't recommend it enough. Okay, so hope the video was useful. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day.